Good morning, friends. I don't even know how many of you actually follow me on YouTube. I suppose, check all that out a little bit. It's easy enough to do. Um, Today I want to talk to you a little bit about what I consider it is to be an American. Okay? To be a poor or working class American. To me, the number one responsibility of every poor and working class American in the country is to learn, okay? To learn as much as you possibly can about those who are ruling us. That'd be the government, and I'm talking local, state, and federal governments. Learn what President Obama's policies are. And here in Wisconsin, learn what Governor Walker's policies are. And learn what your mayor's policies are. Get involved. Learn what your local school board members think and how they want to run things. Learn about your aldermen. Learn about your congressmen, your senators. Okay, learn about all these people. Learn about who has the largest corporate interest. Because these people are not voting for you when they hold up their hands in the Senate or Congress or something, or up in City Hall or the county office building. If these people are getting most of their money from, let's say, the Waltons, I gotta look some of this stuff up here, or Adelson or somebody in that order, big businesses around your area, then they don't give a crap about you. No, they don't care. Because you are not important to them. Who is important to them are those that are giving them the money. Okay? Republicans hold absolutely no interest in common with me. Okay, Republicans are in favor of GMOs. They're in favor of gutting the downtown low rent areas because, well, they'd rather collect higher rent from people. But yet they don't want to provide you with a decent job. They certainly don't want you to have a job that has benefits, time off for health, pregnancy, child care. They certainly don't want any of these things for you. They don't care if they have a convenient, close by, big grocery store that will provide you with the nutrition you need for you and your children. They don't care about that stuff. And many of you may say the Democrats don't either. I disagree with that somewhat. I am proud to say I have not been in a Walmart now for 12 years. In fact, I even looked it up. The one and only time I've ever been in a Walmart in my entire life was May 23rd, 2003. I went to the sporting goods department, got myself a fishing license, which is how I know that this is the date because I still got the fishing license. And I never went into a Walmart again after that. Never have. That's when the Walmart here in my town was located up on the east side of town up there. And they discovered they simply weren't getting enough poor people in there. And poor people are the only ones who ever shop at Walmart. And not just poor people, but the ignorant poor people. The poor people who do not watch MSNBC. Poor people who do not read Huffington Post. The poor people who don't listen to public radio. In other words, the poor people who are the sheep, basically. They don't know what's going on with their local governments, state governments, and they really don't care. They don't try to form unions because, well, most of these people don't have a job right now anyway. They don't need unions. They don't follow unions. They have no desire to even know anything about a union. They don't know how unions work. They don't know who unions represent. They don't know that unions has made workplaces much safer since the 1920s. Unions came in vogue about 1934, 35, something on that order. After all the strikes back then. Why? Because they had 10-year-old kids working in factories that were losing arms, legs, dying. And that's why the unions went in to step in to protect these people from the company. These people were working like 12, 14, 16-hour days, making 35, 40 cents an hour, maybe. Which even back then was not a good wage. And as I mentioned, the child labor. Unions brought about all these child labor laws. Okay, unions are the ones that gave us the 40-hour work week. And that just basically comes by taking a typical week, chopping it up in thirds. 40 hours you work, 40 hours you sleep, 40 hours you spend with your family or friends or whoever. Go shopping, do whatever you got to do. That's how unions determine this. They split the day up into thirds. Before then, you didn't have any of that. The churches, a couple thousand years ago, said, well, you could have Sundays off. No, we don't want you to work on Sundays, because on Sundays, we want you to come and give whatever money you have to us. So they said, oh no, big businesses, no, you cannot work our people on Sundays. And fine and dandy. But work them to death on, Monday through Saturday. Yeah, you can work them, 14, 16 hours a day. Monday through Saturday. We don't care. That's what the churches were saying. I buy my clothes at Farm and Fleet. I buy my groceries at a Pick and Save. And everything else I may need or buy, a few groceries, things for the house, I buy at Walgreens or the dollar store. I don't go to a Walmart. The only time I've ever even entered the parking lot of a Walmart is when I take the number 4 bus up to the Labor Temple for Democratic meetings up there. The bus pulls into the parking lot, sits there for a few minutes, drops a few people off, pick a few people up, takes me down the next block or two to the Labor Temple so I can go to a Democratic political meeting. The only problem with that is that when the meetings end, the buses are no longer coming back around to bring me home. I've got to find my own way home, and really there's no other way available other than to walk, usually, because not too many people from downtown area go up to these labor meetings. Downtown area people here are not real smart. let's just say. They are not really involved in the community whatsoever. I know a lot of the food that I get from, like the food pantries, Salvation Army in particular, may come from Walmart, which is sad, but I don't shop there, okay? I don't buy the food, okay? All I do is I go to the food pantry, pick it up for free. Same thing at the Hope Center's meal deal, or if I really have to, the Salvation Army's meal deal. Oh, jeez. The crazy Christians going to Walmart, okay? And these people have no sense of reality to begin with anyway. They're Christians. They believe the world is less than 10,000 years old and that Moses split the Red Sea with a stick, and that animals talk and that we have separate languages because of Babylon, Tower of Babylon. I mean, crazy stuff. Christians are just not a part of my world at all, okay? They have absolutely no understanding of what's going on in the world. I'm an American. Let me repeat that. I am an American. I was born here. I was raised here. I've lived my entire life here in America. In fact, I lived my entire life here in Waukesha, Wisconsin, except for the time when I was in the Navy, where I was living basically on the aircraft carrier I was on. I don't like Walmart. Walmart is profoundly un-American. Walmart degrades the human condition. Walmart degrades America. Okay, that's beginning and end of story right there. Walmart is not an American company. It may have been started in, Tennessee or wherever, but, may have been started by the Waltons, who may have even started out as a good company. But the ones who have taken it over now are not Americans. No. They may be American citizens, but they are Republicans. And Republicans I do not consider Americans. Okay? End of story. Republicans are not Americans. That is just the way I see things. Republicans and the religious right support this Walker so-called right-to-work bill. It's not a right-to-work bill. What it is a bill to end labor unions. That is being an enemy of America. Okay. America was built on unions. America was union made. From World War II up until, I would say, maybe the early 1980s, America was the greatest country on earth. Nobody was stronger than us. Nobody made better durable and undurable goods. Nobody made better food. Nobody did anything better than Americans. Okay. America was the #1 top country in the United States from the late 1930s, early 40s, up until the 1980s. What happened in the 80s? Reaganomics. Reagan started tearing apart the airline unions. George Bush Jr. and a bunch of Republican governors, after that, started ripping apart all the rest of the unions. That's still going on today. That's what this Act 10 is all about here in Wisconsin. That's what this right-to-work bill is. It's an attempt to destroy the unions. Unions are there to protect workers. Unions are there to represent the workers. I am obviously pro-union. Now, I'll let you speak to a regular union guy. Look it up on the web. Look it up on YouTube. Look up United Steelworkers Union. Look up Teamsters Union. Look up any of these unions. And you will find testimonies on why unions exist, what they do for you, and everything else. Republicans say that unions are horrible, nasty things, that they are greedy, that they don't give anything to the worker. All they do is try to make money for themselves off the back of workers. Lie. That's a lie. Yes, unions need a few bucks to just keep doing what they got to do. They got to be able to bring in some lawyers and work out labor contracts. They need printing ability. They need to have organization in order to keep the union running. But the American worker is the union. Those few American workers left that still belong to unions, they are the union. These are the guys that do their 40, 50 hours a week. And by the way, when they get to 50 hours, that's 10 hours overtime, which was unheard of before labor unions, all right? These are the people who are the union. Because then these people, after work, go and work at the union. So they're putting in a couple extra hours, probably per week, to help you to basically do the things that are going to get you the medical benefits from these companies, that are going to get you the time off. You know, if there was no labor unions, you'd have no weekend. None. You'd be working Monday through Sunday, each and every day, in spite of the fact that you may want to go to church Sunday morning. Republican Party no longer embraces that. They no longer say, well, you must love God. Some do. The majority don't. But it is this whole God scenario lie. And the Republicans are not Christians. Take my word for it. These people are not Christians. Look at Jesus. Jesus formed the very first labor union. Christianity. That was a labor union. For crying out loud. Read the Bible. I've read the Bible. I'm not a Christian, but I've read the Bible. I understand the Bible. I understand what this supposed Jesus was doing was all about. It's a story about sticking up for the poor and working class. Okay? Against King Herod, who was basically a slave driver, which would be, if he was here in America now, would be the head of the Republican Party. Think about it. Read something once in a while. Read the Bible. Get with it, for crying out loud. See, I don't blame the Waltons or the Republican Party for destroying America. No. That is their nature. That is their plan. That is what they want to do, is to destroy America. The people I blame for that are the sheep who just let them do it. You are the people who do not vote. You are the people who are giving these people money to support the Republican Party by shopping at Walmart. Okay, you are the ones who are giving your hard-earned money, whether you're on food stamps, Social Security, and you no longer have a job, or whether you're working some crappy little job somewhere, and then you're giving part of your wages, you know, to Walmart for a box of Cracker Jacks or Corn Flakes or whatever the hell it is, you know, or a new pair of underwear or socks or some damn thing. You people who are shopping at Walmart are supporting the Republican Party. You are supporting the very same people who are stepping on your head as you drowned in the puddle of mud. Okay? You are helping these people destroy you. Think about it. You need to grow a spine. Okay? You need to make a decision. Pick a team. Stand up for yourself. Learn something. If you're watching this video, that means you have access to the internet. The internet is a wonderful thing. Don't just get on there and do Twitter or Facebook or any of these other things. I mean, that's all great, fine, and dandy because you can figure out what other people think about things. And you can connect with your cousins and your aunts and uncles and the kids you went to high school with, and you can chit-chat, and all that other good stuff. And that's fine. That's wonderful. But you have access to tons and tons of information. Okay, look up unions. Google unions. Google the 1930s labor struggles. Google the Republican Party. Google all sorts of different information, for crying out loud. Google the Bible. Google atheist groups. See what they think. Google all sorts of different stuff, man. That's what Google is out there for. And there's tons of these different companies out there, not just Google. I mean, you can go to tons of different websites out there and find out information. You can find out what the chemicals are in cigarettes that are killing us. I haven't done that yet, obviously. You can Google Time Warner. Or Google your internet carrier, whoever that might be. You can Google all this stuff. You can find them on other websites, man. Google is the one I prefer over everything else, but there's tons of other websites out there. Ask your friends, what website you get most of your information from, and go there. But before you believe anything you read, you have to think about it. You got to ask yourself the questions, does this make sense? Why would this be? Is this even possible? I do that stuff on Google too. I don't take Google's word for anything. What I do is I Google stuff, and with Google, then you have several different sites that you can get things, get the same basic information from, through Google. And I may go to like 2 or 3 of those sites to see the same damn thing, but from different perspectives. That's where you start to learn. Say, yeah, well, okay, this site said that. That site said almost the opposite. And his third site was somewhere in the middle there. Now I got to go home, think about everything I read, everything that I heard, and figure out for myself basically what the truth is. That's what's great about the information age here. You got to fight back against the oppressive politicians funded by the Waltons, the Koch brothers, corporate international interest. Okay? These people do not have your best interest at heart. No, you think Walmart cares whether or not you're eating pesticides with your fruit? No, they don't care. What they care about is that you buy the stuff and that you get your kids hooked on this stuff, and that they get their kids hooked on this stuff. They're looking at the long-term thing here, you know. I mean, let's provide lots and lots of pretty poisoned apples to these consumers so we can get their money. And when they die, that's okay, because their kids will still be here and their grandkids will still be here to spend their money at our corporate store. And you people fall for that crap. You people actually believe that because they give you a bright, shiny apple or lovely green grapes, that they like you. No, they don't like you. They like your money. You're going to spend, 15, 20 bucks there, along with millions of other people. And all that's millions of bucks goes to corporate headquarters, and then they ship part of that off to the Republican Party. That will convince you that Walmart is a gift from God. Think about it. Use your brain. If you still have a brain, use it. Okay? If you haven't got a brain, well, then you're probably not listening to this anymore anyway. You're being basically fooled, man. I mean, you're being conned. You're being lied to. You're buying the Golden Gate Bridge, a promise that you will never, ever receive. Okay? That's it in a nutshell right there, man. Stop believing what all these billionaire I could reword that, billionaire cock brothers, the Adelsons, are telling you. These people are conning you. Okay? That's the way it is. They're simply conning you. They claim that, we have God on our side. We wouldn't hurt you. We are the Koch brothers, whatever. We wouldn't hurt you. Yes, they would. They have. They are. Okay? You people got to rise up, join together. Talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, talk to your brothers, sisters, and parents, your kids. Republicans do not have your best interests at heart, all right? Republicans want to enslave you. Now, slavery has been made illegal in this country. How hard would it be for them just to reverse that trend? Not that difficult. A congressional vote, a presidential signature, not that hard at all. Don't go vote for a Democrat. In fact, don't go vote at all. We will handle that. Don't worry about it. A lie. It is a pure lie. They ain't going to vote for your best interest. They're going to vote against your interest. If they had it to do, they'd enslave you. If they kill you in the meantime, well, it's a price of doing business. Another 500,000 people died because of us. Oh well, price of doing business. Don't believe the Adelsons and Waltons and all these Republican jackasses. I mean, they don't care about you. You are nothing but property to them. Property they can't control real well, but basically property. You are an asset. That is what they consider you, an asset. That was the word I was actually looking for, not property, but asset. You are the morons who go in and will buy a couple of $7 lawn chairs that were made in China for about 3 cents a piece with China slave labor, shipped by the thousands over here, trucked across the country by the thousands, and you're out there buying the damn thing for $8, $9, $12, $13, whatever the case is. And Waltons are making like a 90% profit on the crap. What is that about? That's crap, man. That's bullshit. You realize the Waltons are one of the richest people in America right now? And they control almost the entire Republican Party? If the Waltons say jump, Republican politicians ask how high. That's what it's all about. That's what you got to get through your brain. Now, are the Democrats bought and paid for? Yeah. But they are bought and paid for by different corporations. They have donations from companies unlike Walmart. Are they great companies? Not necessarily. It's just these are the companies that kind of sit in the middle somewhere and say, well, yeah, we don't want to tick off the Democrats. We prefer a Republican, but we don't want to tick off the Democrats, so we'll give some money to them too, just in case they win. Now what we got to do, we got to get corporate money out of politics. You realize how much it cost to run for a presidential election? I can't remember right off the bat, but I think Obama's people spent millions of dollars to help him win. Okay? Bill Clinton spent a little bit less, but not that much less, to get him in for 2 terms. And the other side did everything in their power to discredit him, including Monica Lewinsky. You cannot honestly tell me that a president in the late 20th century would be dumb enough, with Secret Service around and the Republicans snooping everywhere, to allow his dick to be sucked by some intern. Hillary obviously doesn't believe it. Chelsea obviously doesn't believe it. But this Monica Lewinsky claims she did it. And she had to be working for the Republicans. Somebody got to her. She may not have started out working for the Republicans when she first got in there, but somebody conned her butt, okay? Whether she lied about it or not, I don't know. I don't really care. I don't think Bill would be dumb enough to allow something like that to happen. But you know damn well she's working for the Republicans. Since Richard M. Nixon, the Republicans have been getting worse and worse and worse. You got to keep this in mind. Okay, this is getting kind of long here, okay? I've got to